Hi, Robbie here. It's another Thursday morning, and this morning I'm thinking about practicing. Practicing. I remember back in high school, I would occasionally be playing baseball with a couple of my friends, and before I step up to the plate to take a few swings, I'd pick up several baseball bats and swing them around to practice with a heavier load so that by the time I stepped up to the plate with one bat, I'd be able to swing pretty hard and do a better than average job. So that's the kind of practicing that I was doing then, and it's similar to the kind of practicing that I do these days. Uh, these days, most most of my imagination and most of my creativity when I'm at work is aimed at helping people plan the music for their weddings or their parties or anniversaries or special events. Um, and so I use my imagination and I need my creativity to to be in good shape. And so I need to keep practicing, keep practicing being imaginative and being creative. And so in order to practice like that, I pick up a heavy weight and swing it around. Uh, in the case of my imagination, I have to pick a difficult topic to think about and wonder, and then I go ahead and wonder about it as hard as I can. And so that by the time I come up to helping people plan the music for their events, um, it's pretty easy in comparison. So some of the difficult problems that I think about and I wonder about that I give myself to practice with uh, is something like this. Recently, I've been thinking, what's the purpose of life? What's the purpose of life? It's a complicated question that people have been wondering about since the dawn of time, I'm sure, and earlier than that, uh, if anybody was around. So when I wonder these days about what's the purpose of life, I think about what's the simplest way of describing the purpose of life. And when I wonder about that, I think, well, the simplest way would be to stay alive and to contribute to the next generation so that the species stays alive. Uh, Questions about other purpose like kindness or world peace or happiness or something like that, too complicated for me to practice with. So I think about what's the simplest purpose for us or for animals or for plants or for fish. I wonder what's the smallest animal or what's the smallest living thing that can have a purpose like staying alive and contributing to the next generation. Um, could it be uh, a goldfish? Could it? Could the smallest animal be a mouse? How about uh, could the smallest living thing be uh, a mold or a fungus or an amoeba? Or how about could the smallest living thing be a virus or a bacteria? Well, um, could the smallest living thing be a molecule? Well, I think maybe the DNA molecule could have a purpose. It seems to be pretty effective at staying alive and contributing to the next generation of DNA molecules. It seems to be worldwide, DNA is found in every living thing, whether it's a plant or an animal or a virus or a bacteria, anyway. DNA is, in this sense, DNA molecule is using us to keep it alive and to spread it around the world. There are millions and millions of DNA molecules around. Well, the more I think about it, the more interesting it gets to think about. But practicing my imagination, practicing my creativity with a problem like that seems to be helpful by the time I get around to helping people plan the music for their events. So that's the way I'm practicing these days, just by tackling hard problems to make easy problems simpler. And that's what I'm thinking about today, just practicing. So that's it for today, and I'll talk with you again next Thursday.